All right. Well, hello again to all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. John and Ellie of Georgia Beer Reviews back at you again with another edition of Stout Sunday. And joining me this morning, we have Robert the Whiskey Scout from the great state of Kansas and the one, the only, Ronald J. Terrio from Louisiana Beer Reviews out of the great state of Louisiana. Michael Kormanoff could not be here this morning. He is here with us in spirit, and he's watching the broadcast. But he's got a cold that he's trying to get over. So if you're watching, Michael, hope you're feeling better soon. And he said he would try to make it for Wild Card Wednesday. So
good.
How y'all doing this morning?
I'm fine.
Great.
Good. Ready for a little playoff football today. I'm excited.
Yeah, I gotta wait so long. Yeah. Comes on too late.
Well, yeah. even later here on Eastern time. But
of course.
All right, so Robert will lead off with you. What are you drinking this morning?
I have, and it's from Martin City, which is a southern suburb of Kansas City, basically. And it's actually in Missouri, on the Missouri side. Donut stout with maple and vanilla. And it is from Martin City Brewery, if I remember correctly. Yes, Martin City Brewery Company, Brewery LLC, Kansas City, Missouri. I only bought two. I sent you one, and this is the other one. I haven't had it yet, so we will give it a try this morning. It's 6% ABV, and I don't think it has any IBUs listed on it. So this is what I'm going to be trying. It's got donuts all over the label. I can't come up with that word. It's getting old. It ain't funny.
Label.
Not as quick as you used to be, huh?
No,
yeah, but at least he's not on here saying. Now, what is a label? That would be scary.
Right. Yeah, we might have to make a few phone calls if that was the case. All right. So Ron, what do you got this morning?
I have a beer called Crown Valley Imperial Pumpkin Stout. Imperial Pumpkin Smash, sorry. And they had it cheap. Usually it's about $5 a bottle. Stout brewed with pumpkin and spices. And it's 10.6% alcohol and 48 international bitterness units. It's from Missouri. Where everybody
Missouri beer today.
Right. St. Genevieve, Missouri, the oldest town in Missouri. Okay. And it says deliciously roasted with dark chocolate and toffee notes with a hint of smoke and a little spice from the hops that give it a pine note. The pumpkin adds body and character for a great beer. And Mathern's had it for, I think, 99 cents because, like, fall passed. Yeah, fall was over, and I was like, at 10.6, it's not going to go stale. That thing will age for years. So I jumped on that. That was like a 80% discount, so I was excited.
That's incredible. We have the pumpkin beers like Southern Tier Pumpkin, which is high alcohol. It's still around at this package store in Peachtree City, but they're not dropping the price of it. So it's just sitting on the shelf. And they've got some bottles up there that are like 2 years old.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure it's still as good. It's probably even better being aged like that, but I'm not going to pay that kind of, they should drop the price.
Exactly.
That's a heck of a deal. 99 cents for a 10% stout like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it might have been $1.99. I don't remember, but whatever the case, it was really a deep discount.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely. So I've got a beer from Atlanta, Georgia. This is the Ferryman from Orpheus Brewing. They've been around since 2014. I've had a lot of their beers over the years. Never had one of their barrel aged series, so I'm very excited about this one. I already did a review on it so I could get my money's worth. So I haven't posted it yet, but let's just say I'm enjoying it. It is Orpheus Brewing, so really good stuff. Barrel aged in bourbon barrels for 7 months with hazelnut and vanilla added. So there you go. All right, so we'll go back around and start with you, Robert.
Well, I can tell you on the nose, you get the maple glazed donut right off the bat. I mean, it's just hitting you right in the nose as hard as you can. It smells just like the donut shop when you're standing over the maple glaze and they put that tray in front of you from the counter and you look down and say, I want that one. This is what you're getting. There is some caramel, some vanilla in there. But it ain't caramel and vanilla like you think of in whiskey terms. This is caramel and vanilla like super sweet terms. This is donut shop. Literally, they're not kidding. It smells like a donut.
Wow.
I mean, it's just, I don't hardly get any of the dark roasted malts in it at all. It's just overwhelmingly sweet to my nose. It's dark though. You cannot see through it. It is. There's plenty of darkness in it for 6%. 6% is a borderline stout to me. I mean, 6% is probably the bare minimum a stout should ever be.
Tell that to Guinness.
Yeah, well, I know. I like the Guinness stout, but it's still.
I agree with you, Robert. It's a little too low. Once you get into these type of things, it's hard to go back to the 4%.
Yeah. And there's like those little fake nuts they sprinkle on top of a donut. I swear I'm getting that in here as well.
Huh.
I don't know if they're fake nuts. I think they're soybeans, actually, crushed soybeans. But sometimes they actually do use walnuts and pecans.
Yeah, we get real nuts over here. Like they'll
Yeah.
put diced peanuts or something, usually something cheap.
Yeah. But it's you get a little bit of that nuttiness too. It smells really good. I mean, this is really, honestly, it smells very good. It smells, like I said, you're at the donut shop. But you do get the dark malts. You think it's going to be overly sweet just based on the nose. But once you take a drink, the bitterness, a little bit of bitterness is there. The dark malts come through. It's not nearly as sweet on the palate. The maple shines. Not so much of the rest of that donut smell comes through, really, on the taste pattern. It's there, but it's balanced. Is a good word for this, balanced. I thought I was, by the nose, I thought, and this is the first time I've ever had it, I thought I was going to get this super sweet bomb, and it's not that at all. It's actually pretty good. It's kind of like it. We still get a little bit of the nuttiness, though.
Sound like something I'd like to drink.
Now, the dark roasted malts aren't intense, and they aren't crazy on the palate. The vanilla is not quite so sweet now. It's not got the vanilla is more, I don't know. It's really unique. The vanilla is, I'm not going to say it's bitter, but the vanilla sort of mixes with the more bitter side. It's not coming across on the sweet side of the palate. This is unique. I like this stuff. Anyway, and it just lingers. I've still got it on the palate. There is a, maybe because we was talking about hazelnuts earlier. I don't know, but to me, I swear I taste just a little bit of nuttiness on this.
Right.
They just show the sprinkles on the donuts. They don't show nuts on the donuts. No. But I don't know how they make it, but it could be just from the process they use. But
yeah, sometimes just from the roast of a darker beer like that, you kind of pick up on some nutty notes, even if they don't add anything like that to it. You get a lot of complexity from roasted barley malt. You know, I mean, it just depending on what malts they're using and then the intensity of the roast. I mean, I've noticed all different kinds of flavors that, you know, they're not, there's not anything added to the beer that would indicate or that would suggest that it would have that flavor, but it's there. So yeah, I can absolutely see where you'd be getting some nuttiness in there.
that maple and vanilla still lingers around, still now. I don't get a lot of chocolate or coffee notes on it though. I think the caramel and the maple and the vanilla, but that vanilla and maple, the maple's really stronger in the nose than it is. It's still in the palate, but the vanilla kind of takes over in the palate to me. But that caramel's still there, that caramel sweetness, but it's just better balanced.
Right.
As far as, like I said, so usually you get some sort of coffee or chocolate note with the stout. Maybe faintly, but I haven't had coffee or nothing like that this morning, so
right.
I'm not detecting none of that. Go ahead, go to him. I'm going to think about this a little longer.
All right. Yeah, definitely sounds like a winner. I enjoyed it when I had it. Thank you for sending me a can.
You're welcome.
We've got Commerce Ozzy in the chat. Thanks for tuning in. Commerce Ozzy says it's time for some French toast. R-O-A-K. Roque French Toast Stout, that is. R-O-A-K. Huh.
I don't know.
I'm not sure exactly what that stands for, the Roque.
I think I've seen that before.
Might just be a company's name.
I guess it could be, yeah. But he capitalized it also. It makes me think that it stands for something. Anyway, that sounds good. A French Toast Stout sounds really good.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I think I've had a French Toast Stout from Terrapin Brewing Company out of Athens, Georgia. I think it was like Imperial Moohoo French Toast Stout or something like that. It was really good. So, yeah. All right. Well, time to go to Mr. Terrio there in Louisiana with his pumpkin smash stout.
First, I have a question. What time is Bumpy's West Coast IPA thing tomorrow night?
I'm not sure. I didn't know he was doing one.
He talked about that like Wednesday. He was saying he was going to do a wild card Wednesday type thing on Monday, but with West Coast IPAs.
Okay.
That's what I assumed that he was. That was the understanding I had. I thought he would be around 7:00 Eastern, but I could be wrong. I told him I could join that because I don't have to do what I usually have to do on Mondays. So.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm not sure yet. I have to follow up and
check with him. If you find out, let me know if you don't mind.
Yeah. No, I will.
No. Okay. Here's the cap. It's orange for pumpkin. And like I said, St. Genevieve is the oldest town in Missouri, and in fact, it's off of the same highway as that I can see the cars going up and down from my windows. So it's I could just get on that highway and drive and go to the brewery after 10 hours.
There you go.
So, and I stayed in St. Genevieve once on a road trip at a fans could care less about that. All right, so it doesn't give me much head in this Giorno. Snifter, a little thin beige head, and it's very dark brown. You can see that. Looks black. I guess. Aroma is spices and pumpkin and dark malts. So think of a sweet, spicy pumpkin pie type dark malt beer, barley bread. So that might sound good to you, huh? Now. A lot of nutmeg and pumpkin pie spices, even some pumpkin pie crust, like the crust of the pie. Chocolatey, a little raisiny, like you would get in mincemeat pie. Dark bread crust, some coffee notes. 10.6% alcohol. These kind of stouts always work the best when they're in the 9.5 to 12.5 ABV range, if not higher. It gives it a lot of body and a lot of character. This thing's rolling along great. Mouthfeel isn't as heavy as you might believe. It's really only medium. The finish is on the dry side, but just barely. A little bit more drier than sweeter. Cheers, fellas. Cheers to you. Eclectic beard. I have some Vienna sausage with some Valentina hot sauce on these buttery crackers, appetizer crackers. So it's a good idea to have some food in your stomach if you're drinking something heavy, high ABV like this.
Right.
I did a whiskey taste challenge this morning. Got it right. Only got it wrong once with the current one I'm walking through. I'm walking one brand through the taste challenges right now and only got it wrong once, but I've been having great success. Not perfect, but hey, Jean. Yeah, championship Sunday is here. Packers versus Chiefs Super Bowl. You think, huh? I'm going to put something on Facebook if I remember. There's 4 teams playing in the championship games today. Of course, 2 against 2, 2 against. But 3 of those 4 teams joined the NFL from other leagues. I bet a lot of people don't realize that. There's only 1 team playing that's an original NFL team. The other 3 jumped in from other leagues over the years. Okay. It's a real winner. This is even got coconut in it, I think. Oh, man. If you like awesome beer, you'd love this. If you don't really like awesome beers, you probably wouldn't like it.
I like awesome beer.
That's kind of a loaded statement.
If you like that's the quote of the day. If you like awesome beers, you'll like this.
Oh.
And if you don't like awesome beers, you probably won't like it.
Yeah, that's obvious.
You're right, FACP monitoring.
You're sort of sounding like Captain Obvious with that one.
Right.
Well,
So yeah, Ron's keeping up on the chat here. The other comment, we were talking to Commerce Ozzy. He says Rogue Brewing Company from Royal Oak, Michigan. So Rogue, okay.
Yeah.
Maple syrup and cinnamon, 8.3%. That sounds really good.
yeah.
I believe I've seen that. I don't know if it was when I was going through Michigan this last summer at the liquor stores up there, or if it was here locally at one point, but I think I have seen that before, but maybe not the particular one he's talking about. I just remember the name of the company.
Right. So Jean thinks Packers and Chiefs. Yeah, you know what? Don't count the Titans out. They've kind of been the Cinderella story this year, and I would not be surprised if they upset the Chiefs. Not at all.
Right. Now remember, Jean, I before E except after C.
It
Right.
does not always apply, Ron, but for general purpose.
Oh, John.
Yeah, generally there's always exceptions like receive.
Yeah.
Watching while he's at church. Oh my goodness.
At church. Wow, that sounds a little
That's a sneaky one. He's sneaking.
I don't know. The Lord might understand that one. He might be watching it too.
yeah, I'm not gonna go along with that.
No. Well. All right.
Were you at the Church of the Sacred Brew or something? Okay.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and give you a quick breakdown of mine. I've already poured it. It's the Ferryman once again from Atlanta, Georgia, Orpheus Brewing. It's an imperial bourbon barrel-aged stout with hazelnut and vanilla. So it poured black, very thick black with a dark beige head, which as you can see is really not stuck around, but at 13%, wouldn't necessarily expect it to. Not sure what the IBUs are. It's not listed on the label or the website. As a matter of fact, this beer is not even listed on the website. It's one of their specialty beers.
Isn't that irritating? I run across that all the time.
Yeah, beer, wine, liquor, all of them do it. They all have this specialty lineup of products that's not even listed. So you would never even know about it unless you heard it from a friend or you saw it yourself. So it makes no sense to me. Especially since the ones that aren't on the website tend to be the best ones. The higher end.
It's like they're playing some kind of, it's like they're playing a psychological game in a way that it's like they want you to stumble across it and say, "Oh wow, I guess that's probably why." Or they're just lazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Either way, it doesn't make any sense. So this was bottled in 2019, 30% alcohol. It says a little bit about it on the label here. Nothing really important. I did read I thought it was on the label. Maybe not. Maybe that's a different beer. I thought it said it was aged for 7 months in bourbon barrels, but you know what? I think that's actually the other stout that I've got in the fridge. So it's not this one. I don't know how long it's aged for. Anyway, the aroma is very malty. Definitely picking up on the bourbon barrels on the aroma. You can kind of tell that this is a barrel-aged higher alcohol beer. It doesn't necessarily smell boozy, but the barrel presence is coming through. The oak, some caramel, some vanilla. A lot of the roast is coming through as well. Maybe even like some char from the bourbon barrels, but it's very roasty on the aroma as well. I'm not picking up any hazelnut on the nose, but let's see how it tastes. Cheers. All right. So the first thing that I pick up on the palate is the hazelnut. This is super nutty. The hazelnut is the first thing I get. It leads into a nice dark toasted bread note in the middle of the sip. The vanilla is coming through. That barrel presence is coming through. It's oaky. It's got some caramel sweetness in it. It's got the nice, just the bourbon notes in general. I mean, if you've had bourbon barrel aged stuff, that's what you're getting with this in the best possible way. It's slightly boozy, but not in a bad way. It's warm and going down. This is a delightful beer. The hazelnut is really the star of the show with this. If you don't like hazelnut, you wouldn't like this beer, but man.
I do, and I would.
Yep, same here.
It's roasty, it's nutty, it's malty, it's bready, it's a little bit of bitterness on the finish to balance out the whole thing, but man, is this good. It's smooth and silky. Even though this is a 13%er and you know that it's a little bit higher because of the warming effect, you could just drink this down really quick, which would be a mistake, but you could do it because of how dang delicious it is. So, man, I'll keep sipping on it and think of a rating here, but it's definitely going to be high. Now we've got Michael in the base. Michael, do you want to come? Do you have a stout, or are you just watching from the basement? Hold on, let me. I can't. Hey, Michael.
Hello. I've been fighting this cold all weekend, so just wanted to say hello to everybody. See how everybody's doing.
You know what they say? Feed a cold with high ABV stouts.
And I'm sure that'll do it for everybody.
Read that somewhere.
Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Michael. Sorry you're feeling bad.
No, it's going to pass. It's just that when you do really feel bad, drinking beer probably is not what you should be doing. I mean, it sounds great on the surface, like that'll take some of the top off it, but I think it's usually a negative thing to do it because.
Okay, I haven't heard that. I haven't practiced that protocol myself.
But depends on how bad you feel and you want to get over this and whatever.
Yeah, sometimes you just feel so bad you can't, like you physically you cannot drink, or you just feel like you'll get sick if you drink anything and throw it right up.
Maybe hard liquor is the way, but that sounds like it could be even worse.
A hot toddy, yeah.
Yeah, there's your Philadelphia. Go run, get your Philadelphia. Here's your utilization of it.
A couple of quick shots might really straighten me out, right?
Probably won't hurt.
Right. Well, Michael, you're more that you want to hang out with us.
I haven't watched. I'll try to watch the whole video later.
Okay. Well, we could just we're gonna go back around and give ratings now, real quick, and kind of go through everything. You're more than welcome to stay on, or I could put you in the basement, or whatever you want to do.
I'll stay on as long as 3 other people don't show up who want to get on.
Right. And guess what? I
Okay.
sent everybody a link. He said he was thinking about joining. I sent him a link. His name is David Garland. I sent David Garland a link. He started a
Okay. Yeah.
He did come up with a YouTube account this week.
Finally.
Really?
Finally.
Wow. Okay.
So he commented.
That's progress.
That's progress. He commented on one of my videos, and I said, "Now you have a YouTube account. You can start doing reviews." He said, "I don't know. I got to think about it." I said, "Well." I said, I'm going to send you a link to this, but he may not know how to use StreamYard, so he said, I only have a phone. I can't use it on my phone. I said, no, you can do it on your phone. It may not work right, but you can do it.
Oh, anybody, he could figure it out. All you got to do is click the link, type in your name, and hit OK, and you're in. I mean, it's pretty easy. I think he could figure it out if he wanted to, but that's all right. He doesn't have to. That'd be quite the treat, though, if he joined.
I know that's his area of expertise, computer systems. But anyway, we did a bunch of reviews last week with beer and liquor, and he was like all excited, and he's kind of like me, you know, he just wants to do it incessantly. So one day we'll stop somehow. Help me. I need help. Help me, please. Oh, I'm just kidding. All right.
All right. So, Jean, real quick to the chat. Jean says,
yeah, Jean.
John says he's prepared for that class of Carlo Rossi. Today's sermon being prepared. It's Whiskey Scout. You drinking your your own wine for the sacrament. All right. And Commerce Ozzy says to Michael, vodka and orange juice, vitamin C. That's the way to go.
Yeah, see, health food, medicine. Philadelphia, Blender whiskey, medicine.
All right. So let's go back to Robert. And Michael's just joining us here. I'll post it back up. So he's got the Donut Stout, 6%.
Brewing Company. I'm going to give it I gave it a 92. The reason it doesn't score a little higher for me, even though it's really interesting beer and I really kind of like it in a lot of ways, there is a certain thinness to it. I'm not going to say it's watery like maybe a light beer, but it's a little thinner than I think that I personally like in this style of beer. So that's the only really knock I can truly give it. So, but it's kind of a big one for me. So it's 93 is, and 93 is still an 8. It's still a good. It's
93, okay.
Yeah, it's still a really good score for it. So, but I just wish it had a little bit more body, a little bit more thickness. So that's where. Other than that, I like it. I don't have much detraction. It's a very surprising thing. If you ain't had it and you can buy it, it's worth the purchase in my book.
Oh man.
Okay. I think I gave it a little bit higher rating when I did it, but yeah, I mean it's a delightful beer. To me, the maple is. I mean, I love maple syrup, and it just reminded me of breakfast, and it was the perfect breakfast stout, in my opinion.
Oh, I agree.
With that maple. All right, so we will go to Mr. Terrio with that pumpkin smash. What are you thinking, Ron?
Well, first of all, I did a video review for Absence of Light, and I really like. Huh?
Yeah, the Absence of Light. That's a different beer, right?
Yeah, Robert wasn't too thrilled with it. But it's posted, and I felt so embarrassed because I was giving these stouts were sent to me. All right, I'm giving the wrong name out on the video. Like, thank you, Bob from Pennsylvania. And then later I was like, oh, it wasn't Bob from Pennsylvania, moron. It was Lawrence from Kentucky, you idiot. And I told Lawrence, I said, I'm really sorry. I'm so embarrassed. He said, oh well, I didn't send it to you to get adulation, I sent it to you just so you try it. I said, I know, but I was too ashamed putting out the wrong name. But the problem was so many different people sent me beer at the same time, and I started putting them in my fridge in order, and then I realized you mixed them up and forgot who sent what. So I felt terrible. And then Hacker Shore contacted me Friday and said they wanted to send me a wheat beer from Germany, and I said, send it along, I'll review it. Hell, send a whole case. All right. Okay. But that won't happen. But anyway, so 93 for Robert. And I'm going to say, oh, man, this beer here is, like you said, dang good. I could drink this all day, but, of course, I'd probably be in the hospital because it's 10.6. Oh, man. First of all, I love pumpkin pie. I love mincemeat pie. Right now in the fridge, I have cherry pie. I don't know if you care about cherry pie. And I'm the kind of person, I'll take a piece of pie and I'll put whipped cream on it. I'll get the pie a little warm, and then I'll put whipped cream on it, and I'll just eat it with a glass of milk. That's the way I am. I'm like that. I do those kind of things. And this beer reminds me of the luxurious experience of eating the pie with the whipped cream in the milk. It's so creamy. It's so rich. It's so wonderful. And I'm going to score it here live on the internet. An A+. I'm going to give it a 98 out of 100. Not world class, but it's got 2% wrong with it, and I don't know what that would be. I think that's probably like cuckoo-ness that I would even take 2% off. But it's so good. It's oh so very good. And what a deal I got. And there's William Kepley. Oh, it's on now. And he was going to get it. He was going to get that.
Wow.
I hope he got that out of his head and not off the internet, but I bet you he got it out of his head.
William Kepley. Let's see.
Rattletrap.
Wow. Well, hello to William. Glad to see you here. He said Packers only original NFL team playing today. Yeah, William knows his stuff. That's for sure.
Right.
Awesome.
You're right.
All right. Well, glad to see you, William. You're more than welcome to join on here if you want. The link is in the old IBRG chat, and I know you're a member in there.
Right.
So
sounds like it's time for.
You're always welcome. We'd love to see you anytime you're ready to, hang out with us again.
It's time for another cameo appearance.
That's right. We got Rattletrap Fishing. Cheers to you, man. He says hello, everyone. Yeah, all right. I thought up on the chat. That's an awesome rating, and that just leaves me, I guess. So, Michael, if you didn't catch earlier, I'm drinking one from Orpheus Brewing out of Atlanta, Georgia. This is the Ferryman. It's 13% alcohol. It's an imperial stout aged in bourbon barrels with hazelnut and vanilla. And Orpheus Brewing has been around since 2014. Really good craft brewing in Atlanta. I've had a lot of their beers. All been really good. Never had one of their barrel-aged beers until today. And boy, oh boy, is this delightful. The hazelnut's not really on the aroma, but it's the star of the show on the palate. The bourbon notes are beautiful. It's nice and bready and toasty in the middle. A touch of bitterness on the finish to balance out the whole thing. I'm giving this, wait for it. I am giving this a 99. Wow. I already rated it, did a review of it, and that's what I gave it on my review. It's staying the same. I was interested to see if I almost thought Ron was going to give a perfect score there for a second. So
it's
anyway,
close.
This is outstanding, world class. This is one of the best bourbon barrel-aged stouts I've had. The hazelnut for me is really what sells it. Even though you are getting the bourbon and all those other characteristics, the hazelnut is just a perfect complement to the dark roast with this and just a stout in general. Nuttiness, roast, bourbon, it's amazing. So if you live in Atlanta or Georgia or anywhere where Orpheus Brewing Company products are sold and you can find this, I would highly recommend it. And the best part about it, let's see, this is it's 12.7 ounce glass. That's kind of a strange configuration. 12.7 ounces. It was $8.99, which is not cheap for one bottle, but for a 13% bourbon barrel aged high ABV stout like this, I think I got a really good deal on it, considering that it's pretty much a world class beer. All right, let's see. Back to the comments. We've got Commerce Ozzy says, Ron Ontario, I will be watching your taste test from earlier today. Rich and Rare was our go-to whiskey back in the partying days.
Yeah. The only people
back in the partying days. Commerce Ozzy.
Go ahead, start drama on the internet.
I want to know how old Commerce Ozzy is. If you're willing to share that, put it in the chat. I'm curious because back in the partying days, like how long ago are we talking? 80s, 70s, 60s? I don't know.
Like what were you watching on TV? Mod Squad?
Yeah.
Were you watching Too Close for Comfort? Were you watching Full House? Like, we want some contact.
Cheers to Tyler. Thanks for stopping by, Tyler. Tyler, we got to get you on one of these Stout Sundays, man. You got to join us one day.
We have a problem with Full House? Okay.
No, I used to watch it with my daughter. That was her favorite show.
Hey, now they've got Full House for a new generation. They've got Fuller House, which, if I'm not even kidding, it's an actual show. They're all grown up now, and they've got their own families.
Right. And they
spin off.
It's pretty cool. They give bribes to get their kids into college and everything. It's pretty. I like that.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, I don't know. You could be telling. I wouldn't know. I've never seen it.
Throwing Becky.
All right. So
Becky under the bus.
All right.
I'm not throwing Becky under the bus. I'm not throwing Uncle Jesse under the bus. I'm not throwing Kenny.
All right. So Kamikaze 55. So that would be back in the 80s, early 80s, maybe.
Maybe he's only
late 70s.
He's only
They were watching Taxi and drinking Rich and Rare.
See, in our area, Seagram 7 was the go-to, not Rich and Rare. But
we have a video coming up for Seagram 7. David, Garlipede, and myself did a duo review of Seagram 7. So get ready, world.
Yeah.
Was that David's first time trying Seagram 7, or has he had it before?
Man, there's so much hate going on in this hangout.
It's not hate. Just put some Sprite or 7 Up in
Okay,
it.
I'm sorry, ridicule. No. He has had it off and on for the last going on 40 years, but he started doing let's call it a drinking project, so to speak, with Seagram 7 Crown. And
a drink check. Okay.
And he's had some friends and associates who have been joining in with the project.
And they all crawl home.
Yeah, they sort of use the New Orleans thematic. Oh, by the way, there's a Krewe of Orpheus that rolls on the day before Mardi Gras, the night before Mardi Gras, the Krewe of Orpheus. And there's always
that kind of looks like I was saying like Day of the Dead, but it kind of has like that feel to it. Something.
Yeah. And the man who started the Krewe of Orpheus, who runs the parade, he's like the boss of the parade. His name is I don't know if you ever heard of him. He's a singer. His name is Harry Connick Jr.
No. Who's that?
Oh, yes, I've heard of Harry.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was like,
He doesn't get it. Never mind. I was being sarcastic.
But every time they have the parade, there's always like the king of the parade, or whatever they call it, the captain of the parade is a famous movie star or a singer or whatever. I don't know who's going to be the king of Orpheus this year, but people line up so they can wave to the star, whoever that is. He hadn't called me though.
One thing interesting, I wasn't going to read this, but since you're talking about Orpheus, it says on the side of the label here, the story of Orpheus is a story of rebirth, first in his journey into and out of Hades, and finally in the transmigration of his soul into the body of a swan. We pay tribute to this rebirth with every beer we put into barrels to be transformed by its time in the wood and reborn as something new. So anyway, I just wanted to share that.
That's kind of cool, when you think about it.
Yeah, I like that's a cool description and little, on the label there. I don't know. Pretty interesting stuff. I didn't know that. I was not familiar with the story of Orpheus.
Neither was.
Yeah, have you most of the New Orleans parades are named after some kind of Greek gods, Hey, have you noticed something about our hangouts lately in the past year that all the scores we're getting are like in the 90s?
I think we're buying a lot better beer now than maybe we were a year ago.
I think it's a good sign if everybody's getting 91, 92, 99, 100.
Right.
Speaking
of which, I will post there. If anybody's just now joining us, there you go. There's our ratings up again for anybody that isn't aware already. So yeah, all A's today. It seems like, and a lot of it could be just we're buying better beer. A lot of it, I also think, can be attributed to these breweries. Just you don't find bad beer anymore, hardly. You can find it. It's almost harder to find it now than it used to be. It's really. Oh my goodness! All right, hold on, hold that thought. We have got a special treat, boys and girls. We've got William Kepley in the house. William, how are you doing?
Just blew up. It's on now. It's on now.
You said cameo. Well, I put on my camo.
But don't drink the camo. I beg you.
I got this. Someone at the hospital made this for us.
Oh.
So it's.
Okay.
But I'm drinking
so
a.
How you doing, William? What's new? You doing all right?
I'm doing pretty well. It's been a long journey, but I think the future looks pretty good.
Good.
And I wasn't sure about this. You know, a lot's happened over the past. You got a lot of new guys, but I didn't sort of know if I'd still sort of fit in this format. But I've liked you guys, and so I thought I would hop on back here. And two of the highlights I had for 2019 were, John, when you visited me in North Carolina. That was great.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah, we had a good time.
When I had some down moments during the year, I would try to refer to something pleasant, and I hope that maybe we could meet again sometime. And
I would like that. Yeah. Absolutely.
And when Ronald called me in from when I was in the hospital, I thought it was a prank. You know, but my cousin had set that up, and that was really nice. A nice gesture on his part, and I'll never forget that. You know, when I heard his voice on there, you know, I thought about all the good times through the hangouts over the couple of years, and that really lifted my spirits quite a bit in the moment. But I'm glad to be on here, and I enjoy it. You know, I've been watching the hangouts and such, and you got some really good guys on there now. You know, and so glad to see y'all again.
Yeah, you too, William.
I'm happy you're looking better, William. You look much better than before. That's great.
I feel much better too.
Every morning when I wake up, I pray for people that are dealing with that kind of problem, and William is one of the people on the list.
But
yeah, Williams. Yeah, you've been in my prayers for a long time. I'm glad to see you, William.
And I've started the beer hunting again, and I just drank a Burger Classic.
Oh man!
Oh wow!
That's
here. Let me blow you up real quick so you can hold that up to the screen there. Whoa! What I would do to get my hands on one of those? Where did you find that, William?
Last Friday, impromptu, I made a whiskey run to Kentucky. I just had to get some bottled in bond like JTS Brown, JW Dant, some of those legacy brands. And I happened to, and they also, one of the liquor stores happened to have this. I bought a 12-pack for $7.98 of the Burger Classic beer. But
you just can't go wrong.
Well, I drank some last night.
You just can't go wrong. That is so good. That is so underrated for the price.
I also got the T.W. Samuels.
Yeah. Got a bottle, but that's in the other room. And the JTS Brown I got's only the 80 proof. I don't have the bottled and bond, and I've got to drive to Kentucky myself for that one.
And I picked up another bottle of the Mellow Corn. I had a bottle, but it was almost gone.
I don't care.
Mellow Corn.
But
I haven't had Mellow Corn. Yeah, I like that. I actually like that a lot.
But actually, one of the probably Kentucky is less than 300 miles away.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you just drive the speed limit, it was like 4 to 5 hours. Right across the Ohio River at the bridge, Ashland, Kentucky, which is the home of the Judds. And so I went to 5 liquor stores there in town and happened to find only one had the JW Dant. I was lucky to get that. The JTS Brown was much more readily available. And I got a bottle of the Heaven Hill 90 proof. They no longer have their bottled in bond.
No,
year.
they eliminated that. You can still did they still have the green bottles? Of
That's
the
the one I got.
Yeah,
Just like that one.
that's a good one. You can't go wrong with that one. But yeah, the bottle and bond, they canceled that line and they re-released it here lately, but I think it's released as a 7-year, if I remember right.
It is, and it's about 4 times the price of what it was before.
Right.
But get it on the Burger Classic beer for a moment. I was actually rather pleasantly surprised by it. I thought it had a little bit of an aspect of a Euro lager. And then I thought about, during history, Cincinnati has always had a large German immigrant population. So I think maybe if they're still bringing it true to style, that might reflect that a little bit. A little more of a grassy, hoppy note, like maybe a Heineken or a Stella Artois. So I was pleasantly surprised by Burger. I've drank 4 or 5 of them now. And so that was one I'd never had. So I hope John and Neely sometime can get the Coors Extra Gold.
Oh,
Yeah, I'd love to try that.
And a few others.
And the burger and
Yeah.
about 50 more legacy brands.
I believe you'll have it. I believe you'll be able to get it sometime.
Okay. I'm always on the lookout for brands like that. And it's funny, before we went live, Robert and I were talking about the Carlsberg or the Carling Black Label. And he said it was really terrible back in the 80s or 90s when he drank it. And I was telling him I've had it recently. It's a Pabst brand. I don't know what it was back in I don't think it was a Pabst brand back then, but I really enjoyed it. It was pretty good. He said it was making everybody sick.
Yeah, you got to remember, it was 1983. It was a high school party. There was a party for young adults, and we had acquired a couple of cases of it. But back then, we had I know you guys are going to look at it differently, but we had a hierarchy of beers. The very bottom of it was Wiedemann's. Then you went to something like, I can't think of the other one I told you about. There's another, not Schlitz, but Schlitz was third. It went Wiedemann's.
Old German, maybe?
Nah, it was anyway, I'm not going to try to recall. I called it for John, but I can't remember it now. Then it went Schlitz. Then after Schlitz, you got like Black Label. Then after
Schaefer, are you talking about Schaefer?
Schaefer was the second one from Bob. Back then, Wiedemann's was the worst. That you bought Wiedemann's when you did, because it was cheap. It was like, oh my gosh, maybe $2 a 6-pack at the local store when I was a kid, and it just kind of all went up from there. But you could drink a 6-pack of either Wiedemann's or Schaefer, and you're guaranteed to own the toilet for the next morning for the first 4 hours.
Schaefer could be argued as the original sessionable beer. It was the one beer to have when you're having more than one.
Yeah, well, that's kind of how it then then we went to Miller, then Coors, then Schlitz, Miller's, Coors. Budweiser was the accepted, probably the best of what we could get, and Michelob, obviously, but we couldn't afford that.
The one beer on my radar now is the 12 Horse Ale by Genesee.
Oh, I've had that at the brewery.
Really, Wegmans is now in North Carolina.
Huh.
We're
I
getting
didn't think
some
they
additional
Genesee
Genesee
brand.
brand.
You actually had to go to the brewery to get. They're bottling it now or canning it.
I'll probably have some of it within the next week or so. The 12 Horse Ale.
Wow.
I've had it in the past. It's really good, William.
Wegmans, a New York company.
Yeah, we have one. There's one in Brooklyn now. There's one
So they are actually down to North Carolina now, and I checked it. We're like I said, we're getting additional Genesee beers we didn't get before, so which is a bonus here.
They called Wiedemann's Weed Killer.
I have an old can of that. I have an old can of Wiedemann's, but I've never tried it. I bought a bunch of cans at collector shows. I bought some the one that William's drinking. I did buy that burger in Chicago about 12 years ago, but unfortunately it was terrible. It was when they were contract brewing it at City Brewing, Melanie Brewing, and La Crosse. It was terrible, but they must be doing a better job with it now.
Their mission is bringing those beers back to Cincinnati. They're owned now by that Shineling Hootapole.
Yeah,
Shineling
Hootapole.
Morling, I think.
Yeah, that's
So,
what make the Little Kings, right?
right. I picked up the Little Kings and decided the 24 pack was the code date on it was not very good. And for green bottles, I passed on it. I've had it before. I prefer the Genesee Cream Ale actually.
Yeah,
But anyway,
much
they
better.
did have some of the hooting beers. They had the Amber Lager I saw in Kentucky, and a few more of the that brand. But you have to draw the line somewhere. And then, like I said, that's not that far away. So I'll definitely be making another trip up in that direction.
Yeah. Hey, John and Neely, before you get off the air, and I really am so glad that William joined. I can't get over it. Uh-oh. Well, the internet does attract maniacs. All right. I have even more shocking news. Later this week, this is what I'm going to be reviewing.
Walker Red Label.
Wow, just like I'm an object of ridicule today, but oh well.
No, you're not. I laugh because I'm not laughing at that. Because you're getting to it finally.
Right. I like to use oblique humor.
It's
Yeah, see, you're using sarcasm and messing around with him, and then he's throwing it right back at you. Don't let it get you.
I'm not used to drinking my own medicine.
Here's an idea for a hangout: a Thorogood Thursday. One bourbon, one scotch, and one beer.
One beer. Oh yeah.
I got that all covered.
You got the Johnny Walker, so you already got that one covered.
I got bourbon and I got scotch and I got beer.
Right, so you can have a Thorogood Thursday.
When you step letter there, you'll be all right. Get the double black, but go through the red, go through the black, then get the double black.
Hey, Whiskey Scout, look, I'm kind of a pedestrian, sort of an average Joe 6-pack kind of guy with these, and so I only have 2 Johnny Walkers to review anyway. I've got this Red Label and one other one. That's it.
What's your one?
The blue. You got the blue.
Oh, the blue. Yeah. See, now you've got me top there. I've only had the blue as a drink. I've never bought a bottle, but
the blue is Jerry Jones' drink of choice. The Cowboy
Jerry Jones. Well, that's.
Now that you've told me that, I'll never try it.
That's kind of creepy. The sleepover that the coach had the night before.
what?
Even though we hired their former coach as our offensive coordinator on the Giants. So
the coach that took the Cowboys job, he slept over at Jimmy Jones' place the night before to mull it over. And everybody on local radio here was having a field day with it. Wonder if he had silk.
You talking about Mike McCarthy?
Mike McCarthy, right?
Yeah.
I can see the contract being at the bedside, and it had these little sticky arrows like "sign here" on the contract, and it's highlighted in yellow. So that is, but a sleepover at Jerry's, I guess that did the trick, though.
Jerry Jones never invited me to a sleepover.
You should probably feel lucky.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Wouldn't worry about it too much.
For Jerry Jones, buying Johnny Walker Blue Label is like me buying a junior burger at Wendy's for 99 cents.
But Mike McCarthy got a 5-year deal. A veteran NFL coach, Matt Rule for the Panthers, got a 7-year deal.
Wow.
Might be worth $70 million. Plus, they already stole the pass coordinator from the LSU team.
Yeah, he's going with the Rule.
Yeah.
William, can you get 6 points in North Carolina?
Yeah, at the Total Wine.
This is a good time to show this.
Wowza.
The Master Blend, is that what that is?
Yeah, this is now nationally distributed in all 18 of the 6-point states that they distribute to.
That's a 13%.
Right. It's an Imperial Stout.
Wow.
And to give you an idea about the price range, this is available also at Whole Foods. I got it at the co-op, but it's available at Whole Foods, the 4-pack for $16. So it's $4 for each 12-ounce can. I got it at the co-op for $3.63 a can.
Oh, that's a deal. That's a deal.
Oh,
I'll look for that one when I go to Total Wine.
Because supposedly this is available where all the other 6 Point beers are sold.
Yeah, they have a pretty good selection there. Before
Now, I don't think anybody else on the panel gets it. Can you get it in Kansas? You can't, and Ron can't. And
now, Michael, I'm actually getting a can of that from Bumpy. He's sending me a beer mail package. That's one of the ones in it. That,
okay,
and
so
then
you can start
Firestone Walker beers, and yeah.
Okay, so
We'll
I really want to know what you think of it when you obviously you're going to drink it and do a review.
Well, I was thinking since you had save one of them, and we'll do an examination on it.
Sounds great.
Because I'm only going to get it once. I'll never see it unless 6 Point starts distributing to Georgia soon. So we'll have to do something with that.
Okay.
Ron, you mentioned that question about the NFL teams. I think the Cleveland franchise Browns were the premier team of the AAFC.
Right. They won every championship. The
Paul
All-American.
Brown, who invented the face mask. I think Otto Graham, quarterback.
Yep.
They were a powerhouse.
First black running back, Marion Motley.
Yeah, and
probably the greatest black running back, Jimmy Brown, too.
Yeah.
In the 60s, yeah. Late 50s.
Only NFL coach who had a team actually named after him.
Right. The team named after him.
That's pretty good status right there. And then he got fired at Cleveland and went to coach Cincinnati.
And then he owned the team.
Yeah, Paul Brown. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Jimmy
Brown. I did not realize. So the Cleveland Browns are named after a player?
No.
Owner.
Oh, he just played for him.
Paul Brown was a head coach at Ohio State. Then he left Ohio State in 1946 and went to the Cleveland Browns, which enraged the fans of Ohio. They said he was betraying the state. But then he made the Cleveland Browns into a real famous team. Well, apparently they named the team after him, Paul Brown.
Right.
And they won 4 championships in a row. And then the NFL said, that league is a joke. Our worst team could beat your best team. And so they joined the NFL. In the first year in the NFL, they won the championship. So apparently the NFL was wrong. And they were very intimidated by that. So one of the people making the joke was Vince Lombardi. And so in 1967, when the Green Bay Packers played the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl, well, it wasn't called the Super Bowl then, they said his hands were shaking before they went out on the field because he was very terrified that he would relive what happened in 1950, and he didn't want to go through that because they were well schooled in talking trash and getting it thrown back in your face.
Yeah,
So
Paul Brown's a legendary figure. The coaching tree of Paul Brown, I mean, you could chart a book on that alone.
Right.
And innovations he made as far as strategy and stuff. But the NFL, before the championship game between the Colts and the Giants, the late 50s, that really set the NFL on its course to where it is today, popularity-wise. It's a great TV sport.
Right. But
then, I've talked to people. The biggest sports in America were baseball, horse racing, boxing, and college football.
Right.
And but that really put the championship game where the Colts beat the Giants. Johnny and I let them down.
Right, William. That went into overtime.
Right, went overtime. Played at Yankee Stadium.
Right, with the big goalpost and stuff.
Right.
So when you see the pictures, it's really weird.
And at one end zone, you can see the 457 sign, which was the dimension of center field in Yankee Stadium.
Right.
Huh.
But that was, I think that was a 57 championship game. Had about 4 of the highest ratings ever on television, and sort of set the course for the modern NFL.
Yeah, 58.
Yeah, okay.
Because the Detroit Lions won it in 57, the last
That's
time.
Right, Bobby Lane.
Right.
Speaking of drinking.
A famous alcoholic and great quarterback.
Right. He one time he got sacked by Alex Karras, and Alex Karras got a whiff of his breath. He said, "Bobby, where you been? Where was you at last night?" This was the night before the game, Saturday night, and he got a whiff of Bobby Lane's breath when he sacked him in the backfield. But he was a character. They say there's still a curse on the Lions because they traded him to the Pittsburgh Steelers And the Bobby Lane curse, they say, is still in effect, which, you know, you can't argue with the results. When you speak the lines, mediocrity defined.
That's right.
And at best, maybe mediocrity, sometimes less than that. But
the longest
whole thing with the Cubs and the Billy Goats and all that. Remember, the Cubs didn't win for 100 years, and
yeah,
he claimed there was a Billy Goat curse.
right.
But Bobby Lane, he was very pissed off about that trade. And put the curse on the.
Yeah, and one more thing, Bobby Lane was the last player in the National Football League or the AFL, any pro league, to not wear a face mask.
Huh.
Whoa.
A lot of them got around it back then. They wore the one bar.
But he didn't wear anything.
Right.
The last one to wear the one bar was the kicker for the Redskins. Remember in the early.
Mark Mosley, who won he was MVP as a place kicker.
Right.
Yeah.
Mark Mosley wore a one bar and he loosened the screws on it and he set it down where it was below his chin.
It was hanging low. You could have hung a bucket of water on that thing. It was so low.
So he was.
Mosley was the last great straight ahead kicker.
Yeah.
I've always been a big Redskins. Well, despite Daniel Snyder, I don't think they'll ever win anything until he's gone. But anyway.
Yeah, he's another Jerry Jones.
Yeah, he's a wannabe.
Hey, John and Neely, thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, we've been going for an hour. We'll go ahead and take this off air. Thanks to everybody in the chat for watching. Thanks to everybody for joining. And we got William Kepley here, guys. So it doesn't get better than that.
That's right.
So yeah, we will take it off air. Hope everybody enjoys the football today and has a great rest of the weekend. And we'll catch you all on the next Stout Sunday. So cheers, everybody.
Bye, folks.